What's going on, everybody? My name is Dr. Grenier, and today I will be going over human gene therapy. Back in medical school, I definitely had a lot of free time on my hands, and I usually would end up researching, and I just found myself fascinated in the world of human gene therapy. The fact that you can go down to the bare bones of who we are genetically and alter something. If that has the potential to save lives, are you kidding? Like, I'm all about that. So just a quick refresher, genetic disorder is a condition caused by an abnormality in one's DNA. So this can be as small as a single base mutation and as large as an entire chromosome. So scientists are beginning to turn to human gene therapy as a solution for genetic disorders. Case by case, depending on what the patient has, we can either replace the bad gene with a good gene, we can strip out the bad one, or we can add a functioning one where it should be. So there are two main ways scientists access this abnormal DNA: viral vectors and non-viral vectors. So all viruses attack their hosts and implant their genetic information into the host's genetic information. So we thought, how could we harness this and use it for good? So what we do is we convert a virus into a safe carrying compartment that houses this DNA that needs to be implanted. And so this way, we take advantage of the virus's natural form and function and use it for our benefit. As for the non-viral vectors, they can use a polymerase chain reaction, which, wait, I remember that from a grade 12 biology class, I think. Weird. Or they can use electroporation, and it says here it's an electric field applied to cells that increase the permeability of the membrane, allowing DNA through. And the gene gun, of course, which is shooting DNA-covered gold particles into the cell. With such an extreme scientific breakthrough, thanks to my man William French Anderson, there will be advantages and disadvantages and disagreements in the public eye. So definitely a pro to human gene therapy is that it can actually cure genetic diseases, like cure, which is something like cystic fibrosis, hemophilia, AIDS, heart disease, cancer, depending on how severe, obviously. But it has the capability to cure, which is something never before imagined. Also, a little fun fact, well, not a fun fact, but birth defects are the leading cause of infant deaths, which is around 1 in 5. And this can be extremely reduced with the help of human gene therapy. So before they're even born, the malfunctioning genes can be specifically targeted and dealt with accordingly. So because human gene therapy is relatively recent on the timeline of medicine, it opens up an entire new field for people to go into, for aspiring doctors to follow their passion in. But with the pros come the cons. The world of human gene therapy is definitely a pay-to-play, where the playing is living. These treatments aren't necessarily cheap, so that means there's only a select handful of people that are able to afford them, while the rest of us do not have access. And also, this technology can quickly get out of hand. And what I mean by that is who and what draws the line between what's okay and what's not okay. Do we want this to be available for cosmetic use or strictly just for genetic diseases? And that question especially is currently a hot debate topic. So a little random but not so random fact, but me and my research team have come to the conclusion that we will be moving our location down to the United States, and here's why. It is 100% illegal in Canada to genetically modify an embryo or cell that has the capability of being transmitted to a descendant. And if you're caught practicing it in Canada, you'll receive a hefty fine and up to 10 years in prison. So a lot of the world is actually on the same page as Canada, where they do not allow this in their country. However, there are countries that do allow it. Therefore, living in Canada with a passion for practicing this will hinder you, because you're legally not allowed to practice it in this country. This will also set us back when compared to the rest of the world, which is why we feel it's the smart decision to move our practice down south. So the two main reasons why Canada and the United States are so far different with human gene therapy is the cost and the legality. So yes, in the United States, gene editing can be done legally. And with the cost, the first gene therapy approved to treat blindness costs $850,000. Yeah. Well, the majority of the treatments done are on average in between the $400,000 and $500,000 range, which is still a lot. And come on, don't lie to yourself. You're not a doctor because you like to help people. Don't be real, okay? Guess who lied on their residency resume? And that's going to do it for this week's podcast. Tune in next week where I discuss the dreaded vaccines. And always remember, don't eat an apple a day. I like money.